Hey guys, it's me, Chocolate Clutch 26, and today's video is going to be a Draw My Life video, but it's going to be a pets edition. So I've basically had pets all my life. When I was born, we already had a dog, and her name was Quinn. She was a black Labrador retriever, and she basically died at 10 years old from cancer. So for some reason I had become really obsessed with cats when I was little, and I had begged my parents so much for a cat until they finally got me one, and he was a tabby cat named Tigger, and I loved him. So me and my cousin were playing at my house, and we wanted to go to our grandparents' house, so we asked my dad to drive us to there, and basically Tigger had crawled up on the tire wheel because it was hot outside, and my dad drove over him, and we were really devastated, and I really miss him. So after Tigger passed, I still really wanted another cat, and so we had leftover cat food, so I put it out basically around the house, and a stray cat came, and that cat was Callie, and we took her to the vet to make sure she didn't have an owner, and she didn't, so we basically took her in. This is me drawing Callie, and she is a tortoiseshell cat. We named her Callie because we thought she was a calico, but she's actually a tortoiseshell. So basically, we adopted Callie when she's about 2 years old, and she currently is now 10 years old, so she's getting pretty old. So basically, my babysitter had a hamster, and his name was Freddie, and that's when I first fell in love with hamsters. So basically, I asked my parents if I could get my own hamster. So once I asked them, they basically said I had to pay with my own money, so I did. I gathered all the money I could find and purchased my first hamster, which was named Buddy. He was a long-haired, sable-banded, I'm pretty sure he was a sable-banded, and he lived in a small critter trail and was soon moved to a really large aquarium tank. So in the wintertime, my babysitter went on vacation, and she needed someone to look after her hamster, Freddie. So basically, she let me babysit him, and I took great care of him, and I loved him so much. And because I loved him so much, she actually let me keep him. So I took really great care of Freddie, except he did live in quite a small cage. Freddie was a cream-banded long-haired Syrian hamster, and he actually was really, really cute and really calm, and I just loved him so much. So at the time, basically, I had Freddie and Buddy at the same time, but in different cages, obviously. And because I was a little kid, I got more attached to Freddie and paid more attention to him. So my parents made me give away Buddy to a lady. So after a couple of years passed, Freddie had turned about 4 years old, and basically he died of wet tail because he was so old, and I was so devastated of losing him. I loved him so much. So I had still been wanting another hamster, so we decided to go to PetSmart because it had just opened. And I was looking, and they did have hamsters, so I decided to get one. So I picked a hamster, and we drove home. I picked a cinnamon-banded Syrian hamster, and it was short-haired this time because I had never tried a short-haired hamster, and his name was Pumpkin. While having Pumpkin, he went through lots of different cages. His first cage was a small cage. The second cage he ever had 2 levels, and his third cage he ever had 3 levels, which was fairly large. And his last cage was a bin cage, which was about 54 quarts, which is pretty small. So basically, when I had Pumpkin and Callie, I really, 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 for like so many years, had wanted a dog. I asked almost every single day, please can I have a dog? I'll do everything with a dog. They basically said no, and I was very devastated about that. But one day we were looking at the newspaper, or my dad was at work, and he saw a little article, and there were 4 bulldog puppies. And my dad said, if we're going to get a dog, we have to get a bulldog. So we contacted the newspaper to get the lady's phone number, and she was actually a bulldog breeder. So we went and picked up our very first bulldog puppy. And she was the only girl out of all of the puppies. There were 4, 3 boys and 1 girl, which was Isabella, and this is Isabella. And she's currently 4 years old. So when I had Pumpkin, I basically wanted a second hamster. And I was a little worried that my parents wouldn't say yes, but I decided to ask. And they let me get one. So I had gotten a second hamster, and his name was Wasabi. He was a cream-banded, short-haired Syrian hamster, and he is such a cutie pie. Since Pumpkin had gotten older, he was about 2 years old, he soon got a tumor in his cheek pouch. So Pumpkin only lived about a couple months after he got his tumor, and he passed away on May 1st, which was so close to his birthday that I got him. So I had wanted another hamster, and basically I phoned everywhere. I had asked all the pet stores and places, do you have any black Syrian hamsters? I had just wanted a black Syrian so bad. So when I found one pet store, they actually did have one, so we drove all the way there. It took us about 2 hours to get there. So when we got there, basically the black hamster had some type of tumor or growth growing on it, so I wasn't allowed to get that one. But they let me look at the other hamsters, and I soon decided to get a little hamster that was a little dove-banded Syrian hamster. So then we just drove back home with my new dove-banded Syrian hamster. So a few months later, so basically my dad and me decided to build a DIY hamster cage for the hamsters. There is 2 levels, and both levels equal 450 square inches of floor space. After that, 2 months passed, and basically Tofu had gotten an internal tumor right between his hips. And so basically Tofu passed away, and the tumor was from bad genetic breeding. Now, one day I was on the computer and I was looking up on Kijiji because I often do that. I was looking at hamsters. So I soon saw an ad on Kijiji for baby hamsters, and they were so cute. So I really wanted them, so I asked my mom, and she said, ask your dad. And my dad said, sure. So basically, we drove down there, and it took us about 2 hours, which was a very long time. When we got there, the lady had a big playpen with at least 12 baby hamsters. There were so many, and they were so cute. And basically, I held a bunch, and they were so small, and I decided on a little baby that was only 3 weeks old, and that little baby is Peach. And I got her at 3 weeks old, and she is currently now 10 months old. She has grown so much since then. So yeah, guys, that's basically the end of my Draw My Life Pet Edition. And yes, I've had quite a lot of pets, but I love them all to pieces, dead or alive. I love them. Also, this is a very special video. This video was because I had reached 6,000 subscribers. That's amazing, and I couldn't have done it without you guys. Thank you so much for subscribing and watching my videos, and I hope you guys have learned some awesome hamster care. See ya, guys. Bye!